Cell phone companies and other large tech companies that you most likely purchased your phone from are known for sharing your personal information with law enforcement and the government. This confidential data can include your geographical information from location services on your phone and triangulation from cell towers. Let's learn to counter the spying from your phone and make your phone again on this episode of the Surveillance Spotlight. To start off, I will be categorizing the layers of measures that can be taken to prioritize privacy, from minor to major changes, from being a very little inconvenience to a lot of inconveniences. Before I go any further, I want to specify that this episode pertains to Android phones only. iPhones cannot be made anonymous because of an Apple ID requiring a Face ID to use basic functions on the phone, and also because of the OS, iOS. It cannot be changed on the phone, which is required if you want to have a private phone, which is why we always use Android, which allows this. Let me begin with cell phone services and private SIM cards. When purchasing a cell phone from a cell company, customers usually sign up for a subscription for an unlimited plan. I advise against this. Instead, purchase a prepaid SIM card or phone line. From there, do not run the SIM card from your phone or anywhere around you or your personal device if you purchased another phone just to do this tutorial. Because when you set up a new phone or when a new cell phone goes online with your SIM card, cell companies are easily going to trace the new phone to its location via cell phone towers. So I suggest starting up your phone somewhere that's not close to your house, somewhere public, like a park that doesn't have too much surveillance. Now let me explain which apps are best to use. To begin, let's focus on the browser. In December, I talked about apps like Brave Browser, DuckDuckGo, Firefox, and Tor Browser. These apps are all good choices, but for true privacy and anonymity, always use Tor Browser. For those unaware, Tor, or the Onion Router, is an anonymous network of services used to connect to the internet by proxying your machine's network traffic by connecting to a self-hosted network of machines or nodes for the internet. These nodes come from other users and supporters of privacy and Tor. Next are SMS apps or messaging and texting. Briar, Element, Session, and Signal are all chatting apps that are open source and private communications apps that require no phone numbers. Though for some, like Signal, are going to require a phone number. VPNs are a wonderful tool used for browsing the internet privately, though not all of them are created equally. Most commercial VPNs, aka the ones you see on TV and the ads on YouTube, they're good. However, should authorities be at risk when using them as a VPN service provider, the company may be forced to give all your logs from their servers over to them. So I suggest a few VPNs, though ones that don't log or send them over to authorities when being pressured to do so, at least, are going to be Orbot, ProtonVPN, Mullvad, WireGuard, and OpenVPN. WireGuard and OpenVPN are both special cases. They are self-hosted VPS or virtual private services, meaning you are needing to have to configure them on both their respectful web applications to your phone, though Orbot is easier and can be installed very quickly. Mullvad and ProtonVPN are both well-respected VPNs. Especially Mullvad, is to have a private subscription. They allow for cashless anon crypto payments. I have to stress though, if you do not have a clue about networking, I would say do not use WireGuard or OpenVPN to self-host if you don't know what you're doing, because you could compromise yourself and the security of your device. To replace apps needed to email, I suggest Tutanota, ProtonMail, Simple Login, and Anon Addy. ProtonMail and Tutanota are both apps used to receive and send emails. Simple Login and Anon Addy are both email aliases. This means you can receive emails from other people without using your actual email, like name@tutanota.com, which means you can have one or multiple fake emails you can use for multiple reasons, like work or the doctors. For storing strong passwords safely on a device, I suggest password managers KeePassDX and Bitwarden. Now, this comes down to what you do to secure them. Use long passwords and strong ones at that, consisting of letters, numbers, spaces, and special characters, up to, I believe, the maximum I would say would be 21 characters. You should use MFA or multi-factor authentication on all services when possible. Two FA apps I suggest are and OTP and Aegis, which generate codes for accounts on all devices. If you want to go beyond that and get a security key, the best one on the market and the most popular one right now is YubiKey by Yubico. Rather than using the Google Play Store for downloading most of these apps, use F-Droid and Aurora Store, which are alternative app stores for Android phones. F-Droid has free and open source apps to install suggested apps from F-Droid, but if you need to access Google Play Store, use Aurora Store, found in F-Droid, allowing you to download apps from Google Play Store anonymously. For more private GPS services, invest in OSM and Maps. There is both a free and premium version, though the free version allows for GPS and map services like the other one, so I don't believe it matters which one you use to pay. Really though, it just comes up to you if you want to buy it or just download for free. It's very simple. After installing all these apps, we change the privileges you give your apps over to your phone. Also, uninstall any apps you don't use on your phone as to make the phone more cleaner, as more minimalism is better and is more secure. I say secure because most phones come with pre-packaged apps by cell phone providers or the company. Disable your location and geographical settings, as most people should. Disable Bluetooth and NFC when they're not used, and make sure to do this as well with Wi-Fi and your phone scans and pings for other networks around you. However, this does not mean that apps that cannot use location services when needed, or they can find the location around you based on the phone's IP address and triangulate from there. If you want your phone not to be able to be pinged, invest in a Faraday bag so you can have a carrying case for your phone. For a cheaper option, use tinfoil. Now it's time to focus on switching your Android phone's ROM. The ROM is the operating system Android runs on. Google Pixel phones are the most viable customization of the ROM. If you're going to switch to the ROM on Android phones of your choice, I have 3 options you can use that are tailored specifically to your preferences on devices. Graphene OS is said to be the best and most secure private ROM developed with anonymity and security in mind, and giving phone users their right to own the device again. Calyx OS is a private ROM based more on everyday use and convenience, as well as security. And finally, Lineage OS, which is the same as Calyx, but with the ROM being also used in everyday life. All 3 have their setbacks based on your preferences. Both Calyx and Graphene require the model of the phone to be a Google Pixel 5 to 7. I only say Google Pixel 5 to 7 because I specifically suggest the most phones are up to date, because most of them stop giving updates around older models of phones. This may seem excessive, but one can never be too careful when it comes to one's privacy and security. That said, if you aren't planning on switching to a ROM for your Android phone, make sure at least to create separate accounts on your device for the various services you want to use on your phone. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. This has been the Surveillance Spotlight, and as said before, remember to shine the light on surveillance if you see your privacy being breached, and do something about it. Stay tuned.